You were listening to a Nerd Room podcast, a member of the Star Wars Commonwealth Podcast Network. Be sure to check out more from the Star Wars Commonwealth on the web at starwarscommonwealth.com and take your first steps into a larger world. Hey everyone, and welcome to the Nerd Room. We talk all things Star Wars, Marvel, and DC. This is episode number 104. We'll be catching up on some January news and rolling through those Oscar nominations. I'm one of your host, Tim.
I'm Troy.
And I'm back. And I'm Sunjay.
Welcome back, my
Just
dude.
thought I'd throw a curveball at you guys.
Yeah, dead air. Nothing like Sunjay coming in and chucking a curveball right off the bat.
I know. Nothing can kill a podcast quicker than me.
How was sunny Las Vegas, my dude?
It was good. It was good. I was just in rehab, and so that's why I was down there, trying to kick that steelbook and DVD collecting addiction.
Didn't go very well.
No. In fact, it was the opposite.
You
so,
relapsed.
Yeah, I've... Did I ever? Picked up 55 movies down there.
Wow.
This guy was on us before about collecting Legends and Black Series.
Right.
I know. It just happened. Americans, you guys don't know how lucky you are collecting movies. So many movies that the USA has that Canada doesn't have. Movies like that are pretty big titles, like, the new Battle of the Sexes with the tennis
Emma
guy.
Stone.
Emma Stone.
Yeah.
Steve Carell.
Yeah.
In Canada, you can only get the DVD.
We can't get the Blu-ray?
You can't get the Blu-ray.
Makes no sense. Why would they even do that?
Why'd you even put out DVDs at this point in time when you have 4K, Blu-ray? It doesn't make sense. Like, you might as well put it out on VHS. Like, if you're a distributor in Canada, stop putting out DVDs. Like, who's buying DVDs?
They don't put them even in the packs anymore, do they?
Some of them come with the DVD, but most of them just come with digital now.
Like most recent movies hitting the shelves, surely they only come with like a 3D, Blu-ray, digital code, and 4K now. They can't come with the DVD. They don't even sell DVD players anymore, I don't think.
But they work in Blu-rays and 4Ks.
Oh, good
There's
point.
something called like 4K upscaling where you put your DVD in and then it'll upscale the video to like 4K quality kind of.
No way.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, this Vegas, ton of like small stores that are just like in Vegas that are filled with movies that are used and new, and I loaded up big time. So if I can manage to figure out how to work a camera and a mic, I'm going to shoot a video and go through a rundown of everything that I picked up while in Vegas. So keep an eye out for that, because if I ever get motivated to do it, it's gonna hit the YouTubes and it's gonna, clear the airwaves.
So what's your count now? Your total count?
My countdown of movies now, 1,605.
Down.
Wow, that is impressive. I've been slowly dwindling my collection down to about, I must have maybe about 45 films now. Everything's digital.
So I bought more films this past weekend than you own.
I think so.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I think so.
Yeah?
Like, I'm trying to get rid of the clutter, and I feel like DVDs take up a lot of space. Like, I've got DVDs that I haven't watched in 15, 20 years, probably. Like I got
Batman,
U571. That was the
Knight.
first DVD I ever owned. Go figure I remember that. But I watched it twice my whole life. I got it when I was like 15.
But some of those movies, though, I find with physical media going the way of the dinosaur and the way of not landlines. Yeah.
Mobiles?
VHSs, all those like
Cassettes.
dead technologies. A lot of those movies that are not very popular that aren't on Netflix are hard to find. Like, movies like The Dark Knight Rises isn't on Netflix, which is weird to me.
Yeah, just not the rights, though. But because doesn't WB have their own streaming service?
coming soon.
It's coming soon, yeah.
So they're saving all that for then.
Yeah.
Like, they're not gonna, those are some of their bigger properties that can draw people in, right?
Yeah, eventually it'll just be like TV channels, but it'll just be all streaming services. So you'd have to subscribe to probably like an ABC streaming, a CBS, a Fox. Well,
Fox beat
those
Disney
are all owned
anyways.
by Disney anyways.
Yeah.
So
So
CBS.
coming 2019, Disney streaming service.
Yeah.
All of that is going to be, including everything Fox.
That's crazy. Even Fox News.
Yeah. Ooh, hopefully not. No political stuff here. Anyways, guys, if you are new to the podcast, welcome. We kind of jumped right into it there. But like we said at the top, all things Star Wars, Marvel, and DC. And we always like to jump in early on into some collecting, into some comic book talk. And Sunjay, like he had just said, he was just in Vegas collecting movies like a crazy man. Like an absolute maniac. That was my one response to some of the movies that you've... Maniac.
I got that movie Maniac, actually, while
There
I
you
was
go.
in Vegas.
And you picked up Monster, too.
Monster, yeah.
Gareth Edwards.
All thanks to you, Tim. I mean, on this podcast, you were saying how it was such a good movie, and I was like, damn, that does sound interesting.
Yeah,
so,
check it out. That's what got Gareth Edwards Rogue One. So it's pretty decent.
$3
Yeah, there you go.
on Blu-ray. What a deal.
I got it digitally somewhere. I think it might be on Netflix, too. Maybe. I don't know.
Whatever. But yeah, thank you so much for that suggestion, and looking forward to watching it and completing my Gareth Edwards collection. I think he's at, 2 movies now?
Something like that. He'll get something else. Not to worry. Troy, how has comics and collecting been since Sunjay's been away?
Dead.
I
I
know.
still haven't found my way at the comic book store. I'm going to go probably next week. I'll pick up. But yeah, man, it's just been quiet. Last time I was here, I think I mentioned I got Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah.
So I've just been watching that like every day. And other than that, man, yeah, just been chilling.
Yeah,
Pretty low.
We're going to get into this, but I racked up a few Oscar noms, too.
Yeah.
Maybe a snub or so. Maybe a snub
Yeah,
or
I
so.
think so.
Yeah?
I think so. But I got one important one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get there. Though.
Okay.
Yeah.
We will get there. We're going to run down all the Oscar nominations, which did drop today as well. I'm looking forward to talking about that. That's something that we do every single year. We may slide that over to Detours this year. Maybe one of the first episodes where we actually run down our Oscar nomination pool that we usually do. We kind of do a bit of a beer bet we've done in the past, and we'll just see how that evolves out. But we're going to talk about particularly some of the comic book movies and some of our favorite movies that got nominated in those categories, especially when it comes down to the editing, which The Last Jedi seemed to clean up in a little bit. Got Blade Runner 49, Dunkirk, and a special nomination for Logan. But we're going to get into all of that. But before we do that, we're going to talk just a little bit more about comics and collecting here. Because for me also, comic books have been a bit slow for just this week. I haven't made it to the comic book shop. But one thing I want to talk about here is my wife for Christmas grabbed me some new bags and boards. Now, she ordered them off Amazon. I'm not one for change. I kind of like my bulk standard boards and bags. But she went on a limb, grabbed these for me, and you know what? Change is good sometimes. She picked me up these bags. Now, there's no company name or anything like that. Maybe I'll throw a photo up on Twitter. It just says resealable current comic bags. And the key thing there is resealable. When I first got them, I really didn't see the word resealable. But these things are awesome. It comes with like a little strip on the back, and you just pull the tape piece off, or the cover piece, and flip over the bag, and your comic book's done. You don't need scotch tape, nothing like that. It opens and closes, and it doesn't affect your comic book as you're pulling it back out. Used to, where you have the tape kind of dangling there. In the past, you get it caught in the cover or get it caught in the back, and you're just sitting there holding your breath, hoping it doesn't affect anything. But these things totally make that go away. Like, it seems like it's such a simple thing, but like it's revolutionary when it comes to bags. Like, I don't know how long these have been out for. Incredible. So, moral of the story: change is good sometimes.
Are they more expensive than like the normal bags and boards, or?
Couldn't tell you, but I'm guessing not.
Yeah, I can't remember, because I did get these. These have been out for a while, maybe 2 years, and I thought they discontinued them.
Yeah.
So that's why I've given up on these things. My comic book store doesn't supply them anymore. But now that I know, I guess Amazon is where you pick these things up. So, man, I'm going back to Amazon to get these things. Because, yeah, like you mentioned, man, the seal at the back is just awesome.
Yeah, my only caution on them, too, is just to make sure you get the air out of the bag before you seal it, because they do seal really well. I sealed one that had a bit of air in it, and it kind of gave like almost like an air padding, which I guess isn't the worst thing in the world, but if you start to stack those up in a box, it's going to take up a lot more room than just your normal flat comic books.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Then outside of that, it's, collecting. I'm wandering around the Black Panther aisles. I've seen a lot of Eric Killmongers.
Yeah.
I'm out. I'm not doing Legends.
Checking out?
I'm checking out.
No Iron Man?
Nope. I haven't even seen the Iron Man.
Oh, okay.
But
all new, all different, man.
I'm pulling back on the Legends here. I finally put my foot down about Black Panther.
Nice.
No Legends. I'm waiting this out to Infinity War.
That's a good call.
Yeah.
They were all in Vegas. They had the whole line there. So
You sent me a picture of everything you saw there, right?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. They had the 2-pack 2. It was like Claw and I think Black Panther.
Yeah, those are a comic book one, right?
Yeah. And then they had like Black Panther, I think Submariner, Iron Man.
Yeah, he had the beard, right?
Yeah.
Namor? Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta love the scruff.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I was actually this close to getting Black Panther, but I was like, Sunjay, like, your addiction. If you get Black Panther, then you're like, well, it'd be cool to have the whole Infinity War lineup. So then I'd get Iron Man, Cap, then I'd probably have to get Thanos. And I was like, that's like $500. So I put it back.
Dark path to walk.
I put it back at the last minute, but this close. Yeah. It looks so nice, though.
They are gorgeous figures. It's very difficult to turn them away, but it's just the price point, you know?
Yeah.
I can justify with the Black Series, and you know what? Like, I'm going to justify it with Infinity War, but more of a pick and choose line now.
Yeah, for me, the game changer was the technology and the face sculpts now, because from the Civil War line and now with Chadwick Boseman's face, because now they're so much better with those paint, the 3D printing. So that kind of won me over, but I'm only sticking to the two figures, Iron Man, because I love that armor, and obviously the latest Black Panther. Yeah.
Well, there you go. I'm hoping that we get a run of Black Series figures here in the not too distant future and kind of pick up on collecting here, because overall it's been great. Like, I'm catching up on comic books, and like I said last week, what I've been kind of just going on about for the last few podcasts is that 2018 has been great stuff so far. You've had a ton of fun collecting steelbooks and videos. And we've both been getting back into comics and everything like that. So yeah, it's great. I'm loving it right now. Loving Nerd.
Oh, speaking of comic books, sorry. Action Comics 1000.
Yeah.
Michael Bendis is going over there, and Superman's briefs are coming back.
He's putting
Is Bendis doing Justice League?
No, Action Comics.
Action Comics.
Superman.
Sorry. Sorry. You did. So he's doing Super. Is he rating 1000?
He's doing 1000. I think it's going to be like an annual, though, with like a couple.
There's like,
writers.
a bunch of stories in there, and he's just going to do one of them. It's going to be like a huge event. Like, first
Bendis.
Comic ever to hit 1,000.
But they revealed Jim Lee on the art, right? Because Jim Lee's a classic Superman artist, and he has the red trunks. Like, that's a big deal. I don't really care for the red trunks. I think it's outdated now. But a lot of people love the red trunks.
I like both.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I like the movie, like Man of Steel suit.
Yeah.
Looks amazing, and I don't think the Christopher Reeve suit would work today in the movie.
No.
But the red trunks is just something about him. Like, it's just the classic Superman. I can get past the no trunks.
Yeah.
Like, some people can't get past it. I'm just like, whatever. But if you throw him on there, that's just classic Superman.
I like the Rebirth right now, the Rebirth second costume. So it pretty much looks like the classic, except he just doesn't have the red trunks. He has like the yellow belt. They got rid of the cufflinks from the first Rebirth design.
Right.
But I guess a lot of people like the red because it balances out a lot of the blue from the chest to the legs.
Yeah, but it dates it so much.
It dates it so much.
I know. I mean, but Superman is Superman. Like,
he has a strongman, right? The circus strongman look.
But doesn't Spider-Man have that? Like, he has like the blue trunks or something. No.
No, exactly.
Spider-Man's never been rocking the.
He's never been rocking the undies on the other side. No. Weird. Okay, man. I don't know.
No,
I thought
it's just been Superman and Batman, and I don't think Century. Century was just.
Century and like Hyperion have the big high waisted.
Yeah,
ones.
That's right.
What's a diaper?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just something cool about seeing Superman with the trunks on. Hopefully it's a permanent thing, because they can't just keep changing it.
Yeah, because they've changed it already 3 times. Well, this will be the 3rd time with his Rebirth relaunch. That's a lot.
The Thousands comic kind of justifies going back to an original suit. I would think. Yeah. It's crazy that you're going to have Bendis walking over there. You know, he did Avengers 500 when he first came on to Avengers, right?
Yeah.
Did some big things.
And Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man, killed off Ultimate Spider-Man, and Daredevil. Jessica Jones.
Bendis comes over. He's writing Action Comics like part of 1000. Say he takes on Justice League full time.
He's not. I know he's doing it, but I can't say who it is.
Insider.
Just say he is. Would you, Tim, be more inclined to pick up Justice League because you like Bendis's writing, or someone like Hickman? If he came over,
Hickman, for sure.
He was like the one guy. Like, if he came over, you'd be like, yeah.
The only problem with Hickman is that then I'd be committed to a long run. Because he's a long form storyteller. Mm-hmm. He doesn't tell. Bendis can do quick, short arcs, and Bendis is also a writer. He spent a lot of time in the 2000s there writing into events, and so he has the ability to plant seeds and run through issues pretty quick. And he's also a type of guy. You know, he's always on 3 or 4 comics, and so he has a mind that can handle ensemble, can handle multiple characters, and even characters in different type of situations. Like, you're looking at, he's written Guardians and Daredevil and Spider-Man and Iron Man and Avengers, everything, right? And would I be more inclined to read a Bendis DC book? Probably. I'd give it a shot.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm definitely going to pick up Superman 1000 for sure. Nice. And some of that's just for, the celebration of that issue.
Yeah.
This is something I want to get my hands on. But yeah, I would say so. Hickman too. Probably, I'd give it a shot. Depends what he's writing. Like, Hickman should do like a Green Lantern run.
That'd be cool.
Ooh,
Yeah.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, like a long-form Green Lantern run. He did a lot with Infinity and that whole Avengers New Avengers stuff that he did in 2013, 2014.
Yeah, when they had to get bigger, basically.
Yeah, and he did a lot of more cosmic stuff.
He did.
And I think he could handle something like that. Because having never read Green Lantern, but having kind of this perception of what they should be in my head, I feel like Hickman writing something like that may get you down a path where you're telling a much grander story, but having the ability to focus in on like Hal Jordan and a few other characters while also building the universe around it. I think that could do wonders for something like Green Lantern. Like, my only basis really is the film.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
And I'm sure there's some great stuff out there.
Jeff Johns run, eh?
Jeff Johns run. I'm actually going back on Green Lantern because he's fighting Zod in the next issue.
Cool.
So that has me. But Troy, you've been talking about this Justice League, these writers. So you don't have to say anything.
All right.
But just a wink and a nod if I say the correct name, okay?
We'll play the hot cold. You don't have to say anything.
Stan Lee.
You only promise to not say anything. Yeah.
Is it Stan Lee?
I'm blanking like crazy right now. Yeah.
Is it rhyme with miter? Does it rhyme with
Schmef
Brazzarello?
Got nothing from me, man. Sworn to secrecy.
He's a vault.
He's a vault over here.
Oh my goodness! You can't even get anything out of him.
The scoop. It will drop sooner or later.
For sure, it has to.
It's gonna come out. It's gonna come out.
I'd say I'd tackle you and make you tell me, but I don't think I could do that. So unfortunately,
I wouldn't advise it.
I'm at the mercy of Troy.
Even with all that indulgence from Vegas, I don't think you still get enough courage up to do that. I certainly wouldn't.
Let's just get him drunk, passed out, and then we can do it.
I don't even think that's possible.
Here, Troy, I got you a drink. Please have
slip
some.
in there. Yeah.
He'd still beat you up 10 drinks deep. All right, guys. We're going to jump into a little box office talk right now because the box office has been quite interesting to follow over the last few weeks. Now, we talked about this over the past couple weeks because of what we're seeing. One thing, again, I got to bring this up. Jumanji. It just leaped over Thor Ragnarok in total domestic gross, and it's got its sights set right on Spider-Man Homecoming. Currently, as of this recording, it had made $316 million domestically, which leaps it over the $313 that Thor Ragnarok pulled in. And Spider-Man Homecoming has $334 million. This movie is likely to peg itself within the top 5 films domestically of 2017, which is completely crazy. Like, Guardians of the Galaxy made $389 million domestically. This has a chance at catching that.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Which is nuts.
Because remember when the first picture came out and everyone was like, "Oh, why does Karen Gillian have half a shirt on?
Yeah,
this movie looks awful."
Mm-hmm.
They pulled it off. Like, their marketing, they really did a 180 on that.
Well, you're the only one of us that has seen it, correct?
Yes.
Would you recommend it? Quick Sunjay solo review.
Yeah.
Quick Sunjay solo review. I thought it was good. It's a good family film, but not as good as the original.
Does it tie into the original, or does it make any mentions to?
I heard it nods. Don't give that away.
I'm not gonna say anything. No spoilers.
Okay.
No spoilers. But yeah, there is definitely a lot of fun in the film. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Maybe it's because I love the original so much. This one I still enjoyed, but I'm not like equating the quality to the box office gross. Like, for it to be making $350 million and whatever it's gonna make, it's got to be a damn good film. And I don't know.
Does that always stand? I guess when you're looking at this year, it's fairly close. Like, Last Jedi, Beauty and the Beast, Wonder Woman, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Spider-Man Homecoming at the moment round out the top 5. Those are all great films. I haven't seen Beauty and the Beast, but I'm assuming
it's good.
It's fine.
I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, because you always have this one kind of standout, right? Like,
the oddball, right?
Yeah, it's like a Transformers or something like that. And I'm not saying the quality is like a Transformers, but you always have like a Fate of the Furious, a Transformers, something like that plays really well to a much larger audience base. And this seems to be that film. It's got the legs. It's been number 1 for 3 weeks in a row.
That's crazy.
And it's playing against The Last Jedi still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
It's doing good. And I can say they're probably going to make a third one now.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And a fourth.
Definitely. Especially because it's Sony property, right? Sony needs this.
Yeah.
What else do they have?
Yeah.
Spidey, James. I think James Bond went back to them, or James Bond left?
Well, they have Venom. It's gonna make
And they have Venom.
a lot of money because I took it in the box office race. So
Yeah.
Well, we'll get into a little piece of news a little later on that may change all of our minds on the Venom film.
You guys laughed at me when I
did.
took it.
We did 100%.
Okay.
I will stand by that for now.
Yeah.
Until I see something reasonable,
Yeah.
I will stand by that laughter.
Right.
But what are the other box office enigmas of 2017? Has been The Last Jedi. Now, it's performed extremely well domestically and in most foreign properties or most foreign territories, except for China. Now, China is quickly emerging to be the second largest box office territory on the planet. Now, it's seen films like The Fate and the Furious, a lot of the Marvel films, Transformers have done really well there, and you're starting to see an opening of that market. Now, Star Wars seemed to have cracked that market fairly decently with The Force Awakens. But news coming out of China right now is that The Last Jedi has played awfully there. It's had an incredibly bad run there, box office wise, and I wanted to kind of look a little bit closer as to why we think that is. So that film debuted to $28 million in China.
Eek.
Its second weekend, it had a 92% drop and doing just $2.4 million.
Are you serious?
Which is incredible.
That's like room numbers.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's crazy. Now, when you look at it in comparison to the other Star Wars films, so The Force Awakens, it did $1.13 billion in the foreign markets and $936 million domestically for over a $2 billion haul. Mm-hmm. Now, when you look at the big foreign markets that contribute to that, there's the UK with $163 million. Well done, gents. China, $124 million. So the third, outside domestic, it was the third highest grossing territory. That was followed up by Germany, with 111, Japan, 97, and France, 88. So those are big numbers, right? And now you go to Rogue One. It did $523 million in the international markets, with the UK topping it again, $81 million, China in second, 69, Germany, France, Japan. So the same five big contributors to your foreign gross. And both of those films, although 69 is about half of what The Force Awakens did in China, that is fairly relevant to what The Force Awakens did. So The Force Awakens in China did 11% of the business from its foreign market. And when you look to Rogue One, 13% of the foreign market business was in China. So they're about the same. Right. You see each territory drop in about half from Rogue One. That's even domestically as well. Now,
so Rogue One did less?
Yeah, it did less. It did about half the amount of money.
Okay.
But every market, every territory did that, including the domestic.
Right.
Like domestically, The Force Awakens did 936,
right, and
it did 532 in the domestic market from Rogue One. So everything seemed to drop in half. So everything dropped by about the equivalent amount.
Right.
So they seem to play equally, both Force Awakens and Rogue One.
Yeah.
But then you look at The Last Jedi. So currently it's pulled $692 million in the foreign markets. And those same big five contributors, the UK tops it off, then it's Germany, France, Japan, then Australia, then China. Now, it's only pulled $41 million in China, and it's been actually yanked out of theaters.
Wow.
Because it's performing so badly.
They all can't do Justice League numbers in China.
That's true. Comic book movies play really well there.
Yeah.
Now, for that $41 makes it 6%, so half the amount of its contributing factor from China in the foreign gross. So, is there a problem with Star Wars in China, or is it a problem with The Last Jedi in China?
Well, that's a tough question. You look at some of the numbers, and they're kind of unreliable. You look at a movie, I think last year, The Mermaid in China. So they claim that it made almost $900 million just in China. That's insane. Like, there's no way that that's legitimately what it made. So anytime you hear the numbers from China, I always got to take a pause and think, is this legit or is this not? Because I don't know. I just don't see why this movie would fail so much in China when all the other Star Wars movies killed it.
Yeah, I don't know. I still think they're valid though, because I mean, you look at films, Terminator, like that's kind of kept the franchise afloat. I mean, Genesis did horrible over here, and China performed well. Pacific Rim did okay here, but performed very well in China. Now we're getting a Pacific Rim 2. So I don't know. That's interesting. I think maybe Rogue One, you had Donnie Yen and the other character or actor that played Base or Best. So that kind of helped their market a little bit there. But
Gen Wen.
Yes, yeah. So I don't know. That's weird. I don't know what to say about that one.
It is interesting. Now, there's a commentator from the Chinese kind of film industry that's saying that some of the factors that are playing into this are the lack of familiarity with the younger generations of Star Wars. Yep. Now, the original trilogy, the prequels, never got any airtime in China.
Really?
So it's just right now that's emerging market that you're seeing big Western films playing in China.
Yeah.
And so you don't get this wide release. You don't have this 40 years of fandom in China for Star Wars.
Yeah.
So really The Force Awakens could have been, at least a good chunk of the generation, could have been their first exposure to Star Wars.
Right.
And some of it comes down to maybe the accessibility of Star Wars. You don't have a rabid fandom, 40 years of fandom, generations of fans walking towards these films. And so is the barrier for entry into a franchise like Star Wars too high for a foreign territory, for a foreign market? Now, Sunjay, you might have a better perspective on this because you're more recently coming into Star Wars. So do you think it's a lack of accessibility because some of the storytelling is fundamentally based on having the knowledge of the original trilogy, of the lore surrounding it, the books, the comics? Is there too much to get into this film? Do you just not get it? Who's this old man standing in front of me that I have no idea who he is, and someone just handed him some sort of laser sword and he chucked it over his shoulder? Like, is that too much?
I thought you were going to say, Sunjay, you'd have a better perspective because you're foreign. I was like, wow, you really went there, Tim.
Yeah, not going there.
Honestly, I don't think so.
Come on, man.
I don't think so at all, because this is a brand new trilogy, so you have new characters like Rey, Finn, Poe, that are kind of carrying the franchise, and they're kind of phasing out the older characters like Han, Chewie, and Luke, and Leia. So I don't think so at all. I think, in fact, it's pretty easy to get into Star Wars, and it's probably pretty accessible to pick up the movies if you're in China, to watch the films. So, and I imagine if The Force Awakens did well, and then Rogue One did well, and this isn't doing well, maybe the movies, I don't know, maybe they're just not connecting to the audiences. Maybe, I just don't know. Or maybe the competition in China is too strong. Like, maybe it just came out at a bad time. Like, sometimes movies come out at the wrong time here.
Yep.
Look at Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Terrific film by all accounts from everyone who's seen it. But it bombed horribly because it came out in like a crowded summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it did come out opposite of this film called The X-File, The Return of the X's, which made $293 million in China.
Hell of a title.
In the last month.
See, like, that sounds crazy to me. I don't believe that.
Well, okay, so I've got the Chinese numbers for 2017 right here.
Okay.
Wolf Warrior 2 made $854 million in China. Almost $1 billion in China.
Like, that is Force Awakens money.
It's the biggest market.
There is a lot of talk and a lot of chatter saying that these numbers are unreliable, especially for the local Chinese films, because they try to like boost them up and boost up their numbers.
Well, even if they doubled that, that's still a $400 million movie.
Yeah.
You know, that's a huge market.
Yeah.
But there's 1 billion people there, right? That are willing to go see these films.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I spent a bit of time in China this year, and like, there's movie theaters all over the place.
Yeah. And Star Wars must be over there. Like, you know, you've seen a lot of bootleg like figures and whatnot.
Yeah,
the Marvel characters.
Yeah.
Same Star Wars characters, I'm sure.
Is it maybe a case of bootlegging? You brought up bootlegging.
Yeah.
Maybe are they bootlegging the film? So
I don't know if you could bootleg out that much money. Like, to the
don't
point where
know.
it drops 92%.
You think word of mouth? Like, this is the most divisive Star Wars film ever.
That's true.
I don't. It's curious because you look at how Force Awakens played there, right? So they're familiar with this set of characters.
Right.
Even if you're not familiar with who Luke Skywalker is, I think you can still get into this film because it's centered around Rey, Finn, and Poe and
Laser
Kylo,
swords.
right?
Yeah.
And Snoke's he's a new villain.
Yeah.
So to me, the accessibility for the new franchise is there, and even going back into Rogue One, it is a standalone. And like you mentioned, Troy, it may have had some play because of some of the characters that were in there that are big
names,
stars, in China. So I really can't put my finger on this because I kind of buy the argument that it isn't a generational thing in China, and that may factor into it a bit. But why specifically is it The Last Jedi? Because The Force Awakens plays well, and the Rogue One, it played equally well in China. Mm-hmm. Even though the numbers are lower, it has the same percentage point within the territory.
Right.
It's seen the same drop-off that every other territory did. So Rogue One didn't play any worse in China than it did in the UK or domestically, right? So there's something wrong with The Last Jedi. And I'm not buying this accessibility thing because I think it's there.
Yeah.
And because of The Force Awakens. Some of it's this generational thing, but I can't really figure. You look at the numbers speak volumes about how it's playing in China, but to me there's still a disconnect between the accessibility of it and the previous two movies that did relatively well there.
Right.
Needs more Transformers.
Needs more of something, apparently. So it's going to be an interesting thing to watch because we got Han Solo coming up here in a few months to see how that one plays. Because again, this one, I think I don't know. Do you think Han Solo relies more on knowledge from previous Star Wars films than Rogue One did as a standalone film?
Oh, no. I think Rogue One definitely relies more on the knowledge of Star Wars, I would say. I mean, just the whole plans for the Death Star. Yeah. All that kind of stuff you need to know.
Yeah, understanding the idea of what the Death Star is.
Yeah, and then you have to understand that it's a time of no Jedis and whatnot, too, and it does take place before Episode 4. Yeah.
So your barrier for entry for Solo is probably lower.
I would say so, especially because it's a fresh take on the character of a young Han.
Yeah, you could probably jump into this film. I agree with you. I think you could jump into this film.
But I would be worried now how it's going to perform in China.
Yeah.
Definitely
absolutely.
This. Yeah.
Do you have to market it differently? Do you have to market it, say, maybe not as a Star Wars film? I don't know.
I need a trailer, like, right now.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah, it's going to come out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Definitely. I threw this up on Twitter earlier. As soon as we sit down and record, hey, Solo trailer coming tomorrow. I made reference to this last week, and Kyle called me out on Twitter. But I figure if I keep saying it, it's eventually going to happen, right?
You never know. Tim will call an emergency meeting. He'll have like a little like nerd room signal in the sky, like the bat signal.
Be dope.
Pretty sick.
Yeah.
And then we all assemble to watch the Solo trailer. But anyways, I find the Chinese market is an incredible thing to watch right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's this massive market that Marvel's done fairly well kind of leveraging that. Mm-hmm. And Star Wars seemed to be at least on the right track, but The Last Jedi is a big stumbling block here. So Han Solo is going to be really a telltale sign of how Star Wars is going to perform in China. Yeah. And maybe that's to market it differently there. Like we've seen even things in the past where they changed the name. Like when they marketed Captain America: The First Avenger in foreign markets originally, it was just called The First Avenger.
Yeah. Right.
You know, that's when America still is kind of known, is quite in favor of all their politics and that, but even more so back then when Captain America came out. And maybe not more so, I shouldn't say that. Anyways, they've marketed differently. They marketed it just as The First Avenger. So not having any connection to America per se. And maybe they have to go that route in China. Yeah. Maybe they have to market it a little bit differently. Something else. Han Solo or, I don't know, something like that.
Right. Yeah.
But we'll see. I think it's something that we're going to have to definitely keep an eye on as we go into the Solo film here.
Definitely.
Yeah. Can't wait to get that trailer.
Han Solo, robots in disguise.
Yeah. Well, Han Solo has a lot to live up to because the last trailer that just came out, I know we're going to talk about it later or another episode, another podcast, but has a lot to live up to with the Rebels.
Yes, it does.
Trailer, because boy, that was probably one of my favorite trailers in the series.
Oh, Damn,
it was good.
We're going to tease that a little bit because we're going to swing that over to Star Wars Rebel Alert, our podcast after show talking about Rebels, and we're going to break down that trailer in a bit more detail a little later on this week.
Nice.
But until then, we will tease that a little bit.
You don't want to hear my thoughts on Rebels?
Did you watch the trailer?
Yeah. What trailer?
Point. Moving on. All right, guys. This week we have a listener question. Now, this comes directly through the website. You just go up to click on contacts there. You fill out your question, your name, you send it in to us, and we get it through the email. Fantastic. This comes from Grabs Granite. Now, I've had some interaction with him on Twitter as well. He's a listener. Shout out to you. And he sent in a fantastic question here, and I'm going to read it out loud here. Hello, Tim, Troy, and Sunjay. I have a couple questions for you. I've never been a comic reader, mostly because I just don't know where to start. This is a common thing. We get this quite a bit. I know it depends on preferences and unique tastes, but where would you recommend a beginner jump in at with a major title like Spider-Man, Batman's, Guardians, etc.? If you covered this in the past episodes, I do apologize. Origin stories have always intrigued me. I remember the first time watching Spider-Man and seeing Uncle Ben die because of Peter Parker's unwillingness to stop a thief. The overarching message of with great power comes great responsibility is fantastic, and I would like to read more like this. What are some of your favorite origin stories? And better yet, what are some of the themes behind characters that you believe showcase values we all want to instill in our children? Congratulations again on your recent 100 episode milestone. You're putting out a quality podcast. Thank you for that. So off the top, thank you very much for sending the question, and thank you very much for sending in that thank you at the end.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks, Grabs. Granted.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for listening, dude.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
it is awesome.
Keep the questions coming, and we appreciate it. That's awesome.
Yeah. So let's jump into this. I'm going to we'll kind of break this down out by pieces here. Let's talk a bit about origin stories. Now, we all have our favorite origin stories, and sometimes I find the barrier for entry for comics, as you kind of referred to here, is quite high, especially considering we get up to, issue 1000 on Action Comics, issue 800 on Captain America's coming up, 800 on Spider-Man. Yeah. So that is a very intimidating thing when you're going into a store, especially now with the renumbering. Yeah. Everyone's going back to the renumbering. You walk in, you say, issue 800, like, where in the hell do I start? And I'm going to say right now, don't go to number one.
No.
Any of these.
Yeah, no one's first comic is the number one.
Never. You got to jump
crazy.
into something that's familiar. That's going to be kind of my first recommendation. When you're looking at origin stories, you want to jump into something familiar. And the most familiar thing right now comes from the films. Yeah. The characters that you know from the films and some of the stories that you know from the films. So one origin story I'm going to throw out there is The Ultimates.
Yes.
Now, Mark Millar, Brian Hitch did this in the early 2000s, and it's basically a modern retelling of the assembling of the Avengers. And the 2012 Avengers film took a lot of cues from this. This is one of my favorite outside of the 616 runs. Yeah. And this is an easy entry into comic books. I think that's kind of what you're looking for, is origin stories that you're familiar with, but also eases you into comics, and that allows you to gain some traction with characters. The only problem with the Ultimate Universe at this point in time is it doesn't exist. It kind
does, but it doesn't.
The continuity kind of ends.
Yeah.
So it's not a fantastic avenue in to current comic book runs.
Yeah.
But it does get you over that hump of getting through the idea of reading kind of pictures and words.
Yes.
So that's why I like the Ultimates as kind of this first origin story to go back. That's one of the ones I first went to.
And MCU really rips those characters more so than the 616 or Earth Prime.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of reflection of the MCU in the Ultimates themselves. And even into Ultimate Spider-Man 2, I think. Yes. And we're getting the Miles Morales movie later on this year too, which is going to take a ton of cues from the Ultimate Universe. So another one I'll throw out there is actually Ultimate Spider-Man while we're talking about the Ultimate Universe. So just actually to clarify too, the Ultimate Universe was kind of a revamping and a whole different universe that was meant to modernize comic books. So this was done in the early 2000s by guys like Mark Millar, Brian Bendis, Michael Bendis, did a lot of work with it, Mark Bagley. So basically what they did is they took the stories that fans and comic book readers were familiar with and pushed them all into the 2000s, updated characters. This is where we got kind of the Sam Jackson looking Nick Fury.
Cell phones and comic books.
Exactly. You've got an updated version of everyone's origin stories within the Ultimates. And that's separate from the 616 universe, which is Marvel's main line of continuity that goes all the way back to the early 60s. Yeah, so there's a lot there. So Ultimate Spider-Man, I should say. Issues 1 through 7. So this is Brian Michael Bendis here. This goes and re-envisions all of Spidey's origins. Yeah. It's absolutely fantastic. This eventually does bleed into the Miles Morales stuff, which is really great too. So another character that was referenced in Spider-Man Homecoming. We're seeing him in this animated feature film coming up this year. Yeah. So this is another run that would probably be good for someone to get into. Again, you're slightly removed from the 616 though.
That's to say, and that's why I would say, as much as I love the Ultimate run, it's awesome for Spidey. I would go Ultimate Fallout. It's Spider-Man No More. So it's basically the death of Spider-Man. Captain America kind of failed a young Peter Parker in his training, but you already get the idea of Spider-Man where he came from. But this introduces Miles Morales and how he got bit by the spider. And that works really well because Miles Morales is part of the real 616 Earth Prime universe now anyway. So that character will transcend if you pick up the trades. And that's another thing. Just go right to the trades. Yeah, trades is a great way. You don't have to do everything single issue until you get caught up where you are. Then you can start peeling into the singles issues because that's what I started to do with the Ultimate Universe actually.
Yeah, and I've even gone back into trades.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's a much easier way. It's a compact way, and it gets you full story arcs too.
Yes.
So you're not chasing single issues. So going into a trade, I think the Ultimates is split up into 2 trades.
Okay.
You can do stuff like, even another one I have here is Extremis from 2006, Warren Ellis. So this is him going back and retelling and updating Iron Man's origin within the 616 universe. So this was done in, I think, 2006 through 2007. It's the first 6 issues of Iron Man Volume 4.
Great run.
And that was put out with Iron Man 3 as well, because you see it taking cues from that a bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
A little
Not a
bit
lot,
there.
a little bit. But that's another origin story. They took it from, I think originally it was Vietnam War, and they updated it into the Afghan War.
Right.
Similar to what they did in Iron Man #1.
Yeah.
So Extremist 2006 by Warren Ellis is another great entry point for Iron Man. And that kind of gets you along the way. Now that is, we're 12 years removed from that. But again, it comes in a nice compact trade, and it's a great origin story for that.
For sure.
Now, what about Batman Year One, slinging over to the DC side? Now, it was done Frank Miller, 1987. This is quite old, but this is kind of the definitive version of Batman's origin. I've read this. Yeah. You can get this on trade almost everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great story. And Batman Begins, the Nolan universe, took a lot of cues from this as well.
Big time.
Yeah,
Big time.
Absolutely. I mean, before Batman Year One, the Batman was the Adam West version. The campy, him going out in space and fighting T-Rexes and weird stuff like that. Mark Miller?
Greg Miller.
No, Frank Miller.
Frank Miller, sorry. Thinking of Greg something.
It's Greg Miller, his brother.
The one DC guy who corrects something.
I got you, don't worry.
It's Frank Miller. Yeah. So Frank Miller, he came back and he's like, you know what, I'm going to bring Batman back to his roots. He's a dark character. He belongs in the night. He belongs terrifying criminals. And he's a detective. And he goes back and he reinvents Batman. And it's the Batman we all know and love today. Without that run, we wouldn't have got Batman 89. We wouldn't have got the Nolan Batman. We wouldn't have got the Ben Affleck Batman. So every Batman owes something to that comic book.
Yeah, Frank Miller really toning it down there.
100%.
Really taking the dark side of Batman. I really, really like that story. It's
100%.
Yeah, and just because you asked Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm not going to talk about this because I've talked about this in the past, but go back to Annihilation 2007. You get it in trades. It's a great, great entry into the cosmic universe. And that'll take you right through into Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, which happens in 2008 by Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning. And they really constructed the Guardians of the Galaxy. The modern version that you're seeing in the films right now came out of Annihilation into the 2008 Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 run. Now, single issues, those are very difficult to get, but you can go to chapters and grab that whole run now on the shelves. Nice. I'm not so sure about Annihilation. I have to go skip to Amazon for that. But Annihilation Volume 1, Annihilation Volume 1, Volume 2, Annihilation Conquest, and then after Annihilation Conquest issue number 6, that's the origin story of the Guardians of the Galaxy in the modern comic version. And then peeling out of that is a Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, which I think is a 25-issue run. Absolutely fantastic. Even coming out is Nova, the Richard Rider, Rider. The Richard Rider run. I think it's like 30-some-odd issues. It's also really good. So if you want to bury yourself in cosmic, definitely check out Annihilation, Annihilation Conquest, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, and Nova as well.
Nice.
So it's awesome stuff. Now, part of his last question here, talking about origin stories, kind of walk through a few there. Now, what are some of the themes of characters you believe showcase values we all want to instill in our children? He made reference to with great power comes great responsibility, coming from Spider-Man. Now, what are some of the other kind of main themes of characters or characters that kind of project something that you like reading?
Oh, I would say if someone has the same name as your mother, if they have the same name, then you should definitely be best friends.
It definitely matters. It definitely matters.
Absolutely. If you have someone and your mother and their mother don't have the same name, don't even be friends with them.
And if you're on the verge of killing someone, make sure you ask what their mother's name is first to decide if you're actually going to pull the kryptonite trigger or not.
That's all you need. I mean, I'm just saying.
I like I'm a Nightwing guy, and even though this originally originated in the Christopher Nolan verse of Batman, why do we fall to pick ourselves back up? I love that line, and they later on used it in I think the New 52 run when Dick Grayson was killed off in Forever Evil, and then he came back as an agent, and him and Batman are training, and Batman basically kind of goes over Dick Grayson's new mission to become a secret agent, and Batman uses that line, why do we fall to pick ourselves back up? So I really do like that line a lot, and I think it works hand in hand with everything, right?
Yeah,
so
definitely.
That's one I'll stick with.
Yeah, I'm going to swing over to actually Civil War. This is coming from Captain America, and it's more of a theme, and I can't remember the exact lines, but it's not to be afraid to disagree with someone when that feels like where the world is pushing. So you look at how Captain America went. Like, he was the man that usually lined up behind the government, lined up behind what was being told to him as a soldier. But you look at Civil War, and he does the exact opposite of that. Yeah. He's doing what he feels is right. So that's more following that altruistic, that heart, what you think is better for you, what do you think is better for the greater good. And I've always liked that theme kind of buried within Captain America, that he's willing to sacrifice himself for the benefit of the greater good, or for what he believed in. So standing tall against maybe some sort of oppression or something like that. We're seeing a lot of that in modern society. Yeah. And I kind of always throw back to Civil War and that, and Captain America in particular. Captain America is my dude. I always loved this altruistic nature of him. But that's one of the things, that's key. That's a character that was written differently in that run.
Right.
You would expect those roles to have been reversed.
Yeah, as a curve.
And you go into Civil War, the comic book run, and it's Captain America taking the opposition to the government. And I really, really like that. Yeah. You see that embedded in Captain America Civil War film as well. And that's something I always come back to. It's not something that I would particularly like push really hard on someone, but just having that in the back of your mind, that it's okay to disagree. It's okay to have an opinion that differs from others. This is what leads to change. This is what leads to positive change. And that's kind of one of those themes that I always loved about Civil War there.
For sure.
Nice. Well, not one specific character, but a lot of comic book characters like Spider-Man, Superman, they always put the needs of the many ahead of themselves. So, a lot of times in the animated series, Spider-Man would like have a hot date with Mary Jane or Gwen Stacy. But he would, he could have like stayed or used his powers to impress the girls. But then there would be like a crisis and he would always leave and deal with that.
It's a big theme in Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah. So, putting the needs, he could have easily just ignored it and just went on his merry way and just satisfied his needs. But he helped other people out, and that's just something, always looking out for other people, even if it affects you. That's something that I always admired about Spider-Man and Superman, and that's kind of just like part of their lore of why they're such great characters.
Yeah. You see, that's a big theme in Spider-Man Homecoming.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It takes off from Homecoming.
Yeah, they capture that pretty well.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, Grabs, Granite, thanks for the question, man. That was awesome. I love going into talking about some origin stories.
For sure.
Like that. It's a lot of fun, and that's the hardest part. I agree with you. It's jumping into it, not being a comic book reader. Everyone has to start somewhere, right? Every comic is someone's first comic, but it has to make sure it's the right one to kind of hook you into it and kind of plow through this. So hopefully you can pick up some of those. If you want another list, just throw us another email and we can compile you just a bit more of a list and kind of just exchange it over DM or whatever, just so you have a bit better idea. But those are some of the kind of the early books that all three of us kind of got into with Batman Year One, Ultimates, Ultimate Spider-Man, these type of stories.
Court of Owls too.
Court of Owls,
or Scott Snyder's, Greg Capullo's Court of Owls. Yeah. I mean, if you get the idea of Batman already as it is, that's a great entry into the whole Batman mythos going into the New 52 and the Rebirth line.
I will throw out there as well, Justice League Origin. It was the first comic book I read, and the beautiful thing about this one is it's the very first comic from the DC's New 52 line. And each issue, they introduce a different member of the Justice League.
That's good.
So you start with Batman, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, Superman, Aquaman, The Flash, Cyborg. And the beautiful thing about that is, if you haven't read any of these characters before, you read one issue of them and how they interact, and you go, oh, Wonder Woman's really interesting. And I did that, and I ended up picking up the Wonder Woman run, and I became a huge Wonder Woman fan because of that.
Nice.
I had never even read the character. I'd never watched the TV show growing up. But yeah, it hooked me. Same with Green Lantern. Same with Aquaman. So all those characters I grew a love from because of that run. So check it out. And it's a great Justice League story as well. I wish the movie would have stayed a little bit closer to that. But that's another story for another day.
It's a brilliant segue, actually. I will echo that the first 10 issues of that Justice League run are great intros. That's the Justice League New 52 run.
Absolutely.
Goes back to the beginning, kind of goes through everything, the assembling of the Justice League, if I can use that term. The justicing.
They're justicing, yeah.
The Justice League. Anyways, segueing over to the Justice League, we're getting a Blu-ray release. When is that dropping?
Pretty soon, actually.
Yeah,
March, I think.
Yeah, early March, something like that. And we just got some information as to what's going to be on the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray and 3D combo pack. Now, I'm assuming this comes with the Steelbook as well?
Yeah, what do you guys think of the Steelbook? I posted a picture online.
I'm not a fan of the comic book looking Steelbooks, which DC have gone that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think if you have them all comic book, then it kind of works. But they started off with live action, and then they switched to the comic books, and then they re-released the comic book ones, but only in the US. So the Man of Steel, the Batman v Superman, and Suicide Squad comic book ones didn't get re-released in Canada, so that kind of pisses me off. But yeah, I guess I gotta go with them. Otherwise, you gotta go overseas and get some of those sweet European steel books, which are very pricey.
Is this the one that looks like the poster, the 3D IMAX poster?
Yeah, they're all kind of they've added Superman into it. They're all kind of like
sideways.
running to the left.
I like that one. Actually, I was a big fan. I know a lot of people didn't like that one, but I actually really liked the art for that one. But I think the cool one was the Alex Ross. Like, they should have made that into a steel book.
Absolutely.
For sure, right?
Like, that's incredible. Like, the painting there, or the Alex Ross kind of mimicry they did.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
So good. And that's like a comic book shop.
The one
right?
with Superman? The one with Superman in the front was
I love it.
They gotta throw it. I don't know. Maybe eventually they will.
It just seems like they've put it through some sort of comic book filter on Instagram, the poster, and slapped that on the front of a steelbook. It just seems. I don't know. I don't like it.
I guess I like it because there's some color.
Yeah, that's true.
Whereas this film actually has some color to it, so maybe that's why it appeals to me a bit more. Maybe. Everything else has been so drowned out in the past.
Yeah. But we got a release of all the special features that are going to be on it that Sunjay is going to be plowing through and reporting back to us at some point in the near future.
Yeah.
We've got stuff like Road to Justice League. So going along the journey with the creators of creating the Justice League, which is going to be incredibly interesting to watch. You know, it's going through over 50 years of Justice League material, like the comic books and some of the animated adventures that they have gone on up to the cinematic debut. Heart of the Justice League, going through kind of the heart, soul, and mind of the Justice League and the individual cast characters, including the Trinity. Some of the technology that they use for Cyborg's alien tech, which I'm assuming is a laptop somewhere.
The technology for Superman's face.
Yes, exactly. Well, there's no featurette on the mustache, so it's not there. So
it could be the extra scene.
No, so that's the big thing here. You get a bunch of stuff about new heroes going through each individual character and walking through with the actor. So kind of your bulk standard special features for a big comic book movie. But the one promise here is the return of Superman. There is a bonus scene that is not seen in theaters. Now, speculation has been running rampant, and I think this is just going to be the "you're not wearing your ring" scene, because that wasn't in the film, and that was one of the pieces of marketing that I absolutely loved.
Yeah.
And it's not in there. So that's my guess for this bonus scene with the return of Superman.
There's a lot of scenes in the trailers that weren't in this film.
Yeah, but
unfortunately.
But centered around the return of Superman? Like, what else wasn't in there?
See, I was thinking maybe it could be the black suit, and the only reason why I say maybe the black suit is because in the trailers, because you mentioned the trailers, there's a lot of stuff we didn't see, and in the film, and we do see a moment with Alfred when he's like, "They're waiting for you." Like, he says something about hope. Oh, hope arrives. And I have a feeling maybe he's talking to Superman because we saw the cape, and we also see it looks like that hologram was possibly his costume, so maybe he was designing a new one, which maybe it could have been the black suit. So maybe they're in the cave, but maybe we'll get something brief there because that fight scene with Superman without his shirt looks super CG.
Yeah, and when we did a review, we talked about that.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like they peeled something off of him.
Exactly.
Like, it looks funny.
Right? So that's why I don't know, piecing all those things together, that Alfred scene, I definitely feel like that's Alfred talking to Superman.
I think that Alfred scene is him talking to Lois Lane.
Oh.
Like, he told me, when he says, he told me you'd show up, and he's talking, and then because he's in his car, right? My guess is he got Lois Lane in that scene after Bruce Wayne contacted him, and then he shows up with the car at the fight, right?
That's right.
Yeah, so I think that. But the hologram's another one.
Right, okay. Yeah.
See, I think it's the scene with the Flash in the trailer where he, like, presses the glass and it breaks.
Oh.
Because I've been hearing some stuff online about how there's a scene where the actress that was supposed to play Iris West in the Flash solo film, Kiersey Clemens, I think is her name. So she was cast, and the scene was supposed to be where Flash breaks through the glass and saves her from getting hit from a truck. There was like a car accident, and he like grabs her in midair. And one of the head supervisors of the special effects actually posted the beginning bits of that scene online when the movie came out, and I watched it. And so I think it's going to be that scene because I had heard rumors that WB is actually putting the finishing touches on that scene. So that's going to be my guess. It's going to be Flash saving Iris West. I was doing a little bit of my room there. Iris West.
I don't know. Well, I'm partially excited to see this. I think it's a whole bunch of build up for nothing.
Yeah.
I just don't know why you don't release the Zack Snyder cut.
The Snyder cut?
That's bullshit.
Cut?
I mean,
because they're tired of everyone saying you can't release a film into theaters and then release the actual film 3 or 4 months later.
But think about Batman v Superman killed it at home box office. It made like $80 million.
It did make it better.
Yeah.
I mean,
that made it better. But I don't feel like this film was that bad. Like, I don't think there's a version out there that could be that much better, except for a couple scenes that could be missing. I don't know. Maybe there is.
Just give it to us. This man, without Zack Snyder, I mean, look at how good Batman v Superman did, Man of Steel did compared to this. Like, Man of Steel made more than this, and that's what, 5 years old, 6 years old, and it just had Superman.
Yeah, and but I don't think they're even banking on Blu-ray sales anymore. I mean, nobody does, right?
Some of them do.
Except for Mr. Movie Rentals.
Some of them actually do really well.
That's a good name.
DC
get the Twitter handle.
That's gonna be my new Twitter handle, Mr. Movie Rentals.
I love that. Anyways, continue.
No, just visual. DC actually kills it in the home video sales. Like Wonder Woman is like crushing it right now. Yeah. Suicide Squad made almost $100 million in home video sales. Wow. Man of Steel made over $100 million. So I mean, the DC home video sales is where they're king at, I guess.
Well, they have to be.
Yeah. Either way, I'll be picking it up. You picking it up?
I already have the Steelbook on pre-order.
Tim, you're
I'll buy
passing on this?
I'm not buying it. I may buy a digital copy off of one of you, but I'm not buying the Steelbook. I'm not spending $45 on this film. Not because I didn't like it. Like, I liked the film. I gave it a recommend, but I've really cut back. Like, I buy almost exclusively just Star Wars films.
Yeah. Not even the MCU films.
I haven't bought them all recently. I just been buying the digital codes. Like, I didn't get Thor Ragnarok. I'll get Infinity War, of course. Yeah. I'm kind of just zoning in on Star Wars and Avengers films, buying them like outside of the digital copies, just to have those steelbooks. Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm sitting.
The new Star Wars steelbook is fantastic.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's I'm one of the IMAX posters or something. Yeah, that's how a steelbook should be.
Yeah,
like this epic, like embossed IMAX photo or something picture. But, anyways. Before we get into a little bit of Star Wars talk, we're going to talk about Marvel here.
Boo.
Now, Venom. You made a little reference to this at the top of the show. This comes out October 5th, 2018, starring Tom Holland. No, Freudian slip. Tom Hardy. That was a complete accident. But in light of that accident, Tom Holland is now rumored to be in the Venom film. Now, John Schnepp, the director of Death of Superman, lives.
What happened?
Yeah, what did happen?
Great film. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
Bits
it made me want to watch that movie with Tim Burton and Nicolas Cage. Like, he actually is like, yeah, this movie would have been legit, and I think it would have been amazing.
Oh, glowing review for that film by John Schnepp. Now, he's made reference recently to Spider-Man being in Venom. Now, this is a quote from him. Spider-Man is going to be in Venom. For the last couple of months, we've been hearing how Sony is keeping it all separate, and Spider-Man is in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but every other character that's in the Spider-Man universe is separate. All I'm saying is that Spider-Man, and I'm talking about Tom Holland's Spider-Man, is going to be in Venom. So that's pretty definitive. Now, he's come back and re-clarified that, saying that Tom Holland was on set filming scenes on Venom for at least 2 days as Peter Parker. Okay, so I'm not saying Spider-Man is in the film. When I say Tom Holland's Spider-Man is in the film, I'm saying Peter Parker is in the film. So he seemingly is confirming that Peter Parker, Tom Holland's Peter Parker, from our beloved MCU, is going to be making an appearance in Venom. Now, what does this mean for Venom?
Box office green, baby. I knew he was going to be in there. That's an extra like $100 million. You can't tell me that if this is connected to the MCU and this is coming off the heels of Infinity War and Black Panther, this thing's not going to be $300 million now. This thing's going to be huge.
It will help it. I mean, Spider-Man did a pretty good job in 2017. You throw that on the back end of Venom, it'll bump it up. It'll bump it up. But it depends how they market it too, right?
Like they're gonna show all of Tom Holland scenes in the trailers.
Yeah, but the thing is it like Schnepp mentioned, is it just Peter Parker then, or that's just what he's seen so far that it's Peter Parker? Right?
I don't understand how this is happening. Like this, the only like why? I guess here's another question. I'm gonna throw devil's advocate here. Yeah. Why would they be keeping this a secret?
Exactly.
Like, The only way that this movie does exceedingly well with this is if they tease the symbiote in Infinity War.
That's what I was thinking. Like, this has to connect a lot more to Infinity War than we could have hoped for.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they are, because...
But they should be ramping this.
But you can bring up a good point, though. Maybe that's why there's a lid on it, because we haven't seen Infinity War. So if there's a huge point in there with the symbiote being seen, but we know...
That's how Spider-Man gets in the comics, is Secret Wars, right?
Secret
he gets
Wars,
the black symbiote costume. So maybe there's going to be something like that where it's like Thanos' shoe is like a symbiote and it goes on Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Boom.
The thing is, it'd be weird in Infinity War because then you're introducing Spider-Man's had 3 costumes essentially in one film, which is kind of weird.
He's just a diva. He likes to change
he'd have his
clothes.
regular, he'd have this Tony Stark one, and then he'd have the black symbiote suit.
I don't know if he's going to go black symbiote.
Oh, that'd be so cool, though.
But you'd have it for like 2 seconds, which is weird, and then you toss it off to Tom Hardy.
You can't have it. You'd have to wait to put Tom Holland in the black suit. That's something that comes later.
Yeah.
But you'd have to tease the idea that symbiote came down on a ship or something.
Yeah.
It just kind of squeaks off in the corner. You're like, ugh.
Right. So that happens to be in Tom Holland's backpack or something. That's how it gets to Earth.
Yeah.
If that's how you're connecting Tom Holland to Tom Hardy's Venom.
Yeah, I just don't know, because they spent so much time saying this is not a part of anything.
Yeah.
Like Kevin Feige's come out and explicitly said Venom is not part of the MCU. Mm-hmm. Now, I would be shocked if they didn't contractually write something in about Tom Holland not appearing in these Sony Spider-Man films as Spider-Man or Peter Parker.
Maybe it's an Easter egg. Like he just like walks through the hall of like New York or something.
That's 2 days of filming. Like you're thinking that's, let's say that equates to 4 minutes of screen time.
Well, do we know it's obviously Eddie Brock in this film, right?
I think so.
I don't know.
I don't think it's not Flash Thompson. No,
I'm pretty sure. So,
I saw like military stuff.
Okay, so that's my next question. So are we assuming that he's a journalist like he should be from the comic books, or is he going to be doing some military stuff? Because if he's a journalist, then maybe you could connect it to Tom Holland just being a photographer. That's why you don't see him as Spider-Man, because he's only a photographer. You know what I mean? Like,
there's so many more implications for Tom Holland being in this film.
For sure.
Right.
For sure.
Like, beyond just like, hey, Spider-Man kind of exists. We're maybe see this for later, see how this is received.
Yeah.
It's going to make this immensely confusing.
I know. I'm actually more confused now than I ever have been about this. But at the end of the day, I mean, if you have a Venom film, it makes sense to have Spider-Man. Like, it's kind of ridiculous.
Not Peter Parker.
Well, yeah, but I mean, just in general, right? Like, Spider-Man, Peter Parker, like, should be in this film.
Absolutely.
Right?
I mean, but Sony needs this to be connected, because if you look at their other projects of Spider-Man universe, after Venom, I think it's Black and Silver, where it's Black Cat and Silver...
Sable.
What's her face? Yeah. I don't even know who she is. Like, I know Black Cat from the cartoon. I don't know much about Silver Sable. But I mean, you can't tell me that you're banking on a connected universe with those characters.
Like, do you think that Sony, Amy Pascal, is just like, I don't care what you say, Kevin Feige, this is part of the MCU?
She just forced it. Like when Ryan Reynolds released the Deadpool footage.
Yeah.
And it blew up and it forced their hand. This is what he's doing. What she's doing.
I don't know.
It's weird.
I'd be shocked if there wasn't some contract that said he couldn't appear in those films.
But I'd also be at the same time just shocked that Spider-Man's not in this. It's just, you know what I mean? If it's not the Flash Thompson Venom and it is Eddie Brock, then I'm really suspicious of the whole matter, because then that's really weird that you don't have Spider-Man in this film.
The reason he's not in it is because Marvel controls Spider-Man right now. That's the only reason he's not in this film.
Well, Sony lends him out, right? Like Sony at the end of the day still owns the movie.
They own
rights.
they own the intellectual property.
Yeah.
But there's got to be some sort of deal with Marvel. If Marvel just made them a film that made them a whole crap ton of money, there has to be some sort of creative control over the direction of Spider-Man.
For sure.
And I can't imagine that they would say, yeah, sure, you can take Tom Holland for 2 days. Just do whatever you want.
Right.
Like, they spent so much time crafting his entry into this universe.
Exactly.
And the timing of it in Civil War and Homecoming doing really well. And then you got a movie in 2019. Right? Like in July of 2019, you got the next Spider-Man. So we have a Spider-Man like 2017, 2018, 2019 twice.
Yeah.
Right?
Unless they treat it kind of like Netflix, where it's like, like it's
MCU
connected,
adjacent,
but it's not,
Oh, okay.
And like Tom Holland is like the Battle of New York, in a sense, in that world of Spider-Man ragtag characters.
I don't know. It's interesting. It's gonna be. It's another one to follow. Like, I know you're banking on it for the box office.
Purely selfish reasons. Did you hear that Black Panther is supposed to be really bad? Don't go see it, folks. And
you got that. You got that.
Yeah,
I got that one.
That's my first one out of the gate.
You took Jurassic World.
Yeah, because you started off, so you got Han Solo.
Yeah,
I got Black Panther.
I'm trying to think of like my first big movie out of the gate. I think I took Deadpool too, didn't I? I don't remember.
I don't know. I guess it's all recorded.
Yeah, we gotta go back.
Anybody out there listening that remembers, please.
I have them written down here somewhere.
Did you guys see the latest rumor for Spider-Man 2? Spider-Man Homecoming 2? No, I don't think it'll be called Homecoming 2. It's just the sequel to Homecoming.
What?
That is supposed to be set in Europe.
Like I did hear that.
I heard they're casting a European actress for Gwen Stacy, supposedly. That's what I heard.
Thomas Holland, you're abroad.
It's like Euro Trip where he just goes around.
Yeah, I did see that too. One of the cool things I've seen, I think it was Miles Morales. Did they had him in Houston?
Oh, yeah?
And he ran out of buildings to swing from, and it was kind of a cool dilemma that he had. Was that Miles Morales?
No, that was Kane, Scarlet Spider.
Oh, Scarlet Spider.
So he had to run in Houston, which was awesome. Yeah. And he ran out of, buildings.
Yeah,
oh, really?
Yeah.
They kind of played on that in Homecoming, too, when he's in suburbia. He's like, yeah. I like that.
That's awesome.
All right, guys. Let's talk a little bit of Star Wars before we get into the Oscar noms.
Cool.
Now, we spoke about Solo last week in a bit more detail, and if you follow up on a previous couple episodes too, we went through some of the Lego leaks, but now we have a synopsis for this movie that's coming out May 25th that we still don't have a trailer for.
It's going to be great, guys. It's going to make $1 billion just in North America.
Yeah, this is the hardest Sunjay's been pulling for Star Wars film. Again, more selfish reasons.
Just push back a week or two and come out and make $1 billion, please.
Here's a synopsis. Board the Millennium Falcon for a journey to a galaxy far, far away in Solo, a Star Wars story. An all-new adventure with the most beloved scoundrel in the galaxy. Through a series of daring escapades deep within the dangerous criminal underworld, Han Solo meets his mighty future co-pilot Chewbacca and encounters the notorious gambler Lando Calrissian in a journey that will set the course for one of the Star Wars saga's most unlikely heroes. Now, hearing that, what are your thoughts on Solo?
Still doesn't really reveal that much. No. I think we could all gather that in the most bit. I hope when we're introduced to Lando, being the gambler, that they're not on Canto Bite. Like, I hope that is long gone.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it seems pretty straight up. I can't wait to see the new Falcon or the fresh Falcon at that time, what that's going to look like. I can't wait to see the Chewbacca meeting. We all speculated we're probably going to see him free Chewbacca.
Yeah.
Right?
Basically life debt.
Exactly. But I just can't wait to see a young Lando, a Chewie, and see how he's aged, because he looks like he's aging backwards in The Force Awakens and
it's like
The
200
Last Jedi.
Some years old.
Yeah.
230 years old.
Right?
3 years
good.
4. Yeah. Now, what about this line here? Through a series of daring escapades. So, teasing multiple different adventures that he'll be going on. Now, what do you think that could mean? Are we talking just a whole bunch of different adventures with one continuous arc? Are we talking about kind of a Rogue One-esque, where you have an open with a younger, like you did with a younger Jyn Erso, and then you jump to the future, which it seems like that's how the film's going to go.
Yeah.
So you think it's just kind of like a series of events that kind of all kind of eventually come and climax at some point in the movie? We're talking about... some of these could be freeing Chewbacca, getting the dice, getting the Falcon in itself from Lando.
Jabba,
the Kessel Run.
Boba Fett.
So, exactly.
Yeah.
So it seems like it's going to be a whole bunch of Han Solo lore kind of jammed into this one film through a series of a whole bunch of different events that's going on. So I think like you said, it doesn't reveal too much that we didn't know. We expected that, sure, he's going to meet Chewbacca, he's going to meet Lando, and we're going to get to see some of the cool big events that kind of define Han Solo lore.
Right.
Which the Kessel Run we know, of course, is going to be Jabba stuff, and then Beckett's going to factor into this somehow. So overall,
Lobo maybe.
What's that?
A young Lobo.
Oh, maybe. Lobot. Yeah.
Lobot. Sorry, Lobo.
Lobo
like,
the Holo.
Lobo from DC.
Are we in a book? Do we know how much like Catalyst kind of was to Rogue One?
I don't think so.
No.
I would assume that we would have had it by now.
That already.
Yeah. Like, I don't even know if we're getting a tie-in comic, to be honest with you. So there's not much material going to this. Like we said last week, I'm sure there'll be a Solo trailer tomorrow. I hope we get to talk about one next week. Like I'm really dying to talk about this because some other things leaked onto the internet. Here is actually on a Facebook page that they did show a little sneak peek at a Disney event in Munich. So in Germany, they showed a little something, and there's a Facebook post by a guy named Holger Frick. I'm not sure if that's a real name or not.
Sounds reliable.
But he says, I saw a sneak peek of Solo, a Star Wars story, and I must say, I'm really overwhelmed on how friggin' good it looks. Nothing about the story yet, though. Aldrich Einreich is amazing as Han Solo, and so is Donald Glover as Lando. Emilia Clarke and Woody Harrelson look awesome, and it definitely had an old Star Wars feel to it. So, that being said, with the synopsis, does that give you a little bit more confidence in this property as to what they're going to be showing us here, hopefully within the next few weeks? At least, I'm assuming it's got to be by the Super Bowl that we see this.
Yes.
I admit it. I wrote the synopsis. You caught me, guys.
I just jammed in. I got to say Chewbacca, I got to say Lando Calrissian, and something about a whole bunch of fun.
And old Star Wars.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah. Well, we've been hearing that a lot lately, right? It feels like an old Star Wars film. We've heard that with Rogue One.
Yeah.
And a little bit with Force Awakens, obviously. It feels like the old Star Wars. So, yeah, all in all, I mean, I don't know if it's because I'm getting more excited because the film's coming closer or my anticipation has actually grown. Because from the first time I heard the news that we're getting this film, I've kind of checked out.
Yeah, you've always been on the periphery of this.
Definitely. But as we're getting closer and closer, and I saw the Lego bits, the leaked images that you showed, I am getting a little more excited for this film. I got to see the Black Series.
Yeah.
I got to see those guys, what they're going to look like. And if we don't get a comic and a book, which I guess we're not because you mentioned, we would have had something, I'm kind of glad. Because one of my disappointments with Rogue One is I loved Catalyst. I thought the book was great, but I felt like the book delivered so much. And then when I got to the movie, we didn't really get to see much of Krennic and Galen, as opposed to what the book did. And I guess that's just not the story they were telling. But I'm going to kind of like to be able to watch this movie and be done with it, not knowing anything before it and not knowing, well, we already know what happens after.
Yeah.
So I kind of like this approach if this is what they're doing.
Yeah. Would you have liked Rogue One or better, like the relationship, if you read Catalyst after, you think? Like you got this kind of idea that there's something there and then you go back and expand it, you're like, whoa, this is an awesome story, as opposed to going the opposite way where you had this huge story and you're expecting and anticipating this interaction with these two great characters and you don't get much of it in the film. I think going the opposite way would have been better.
It might have, but at the same time, I kind of felt like it maybe appreciated it a bit more. Yeah. I don't know.
There's a lot of payoff from reading the book.
Yeah, there is a lot of payoff. It's a pretty underrated book, actually, now that I think about it. There's a lot of goodies in there.
Yeah, a lot of people, James Luceno, it's good stuff, man. A lot of people I've heard a lot of talk around the Commonwealth about that book. It's getting a bit more praise as time goes on about how much impact it has for Rogue One. I really enjoyed it.
And it did such justice to Jyn Erso's mom.
Yeah. Yeah,
because she's big. Oh, she's great.
Yeah, and makes them she references the Force a few times, and it kind of goes through that.
Ilum, the planet. Right?
Yeah, love it. Anyways, get into that book.
Yes.
One thing we will tease here is a bit of our discussion on Rebels Season 4. Now, we're going to run through that on Star Wars Rebels Alert here within the week. But, Troy, high-level thoughts on this thing.
Oh, this thing was jam-packed, man. We got so many goodies, and a blink of the eye, we get the Mortis, kind of like... what's the glass in the churches you call the window, the weird
stained glass?
The stained glass. Sorry. So for a blink of the eye, you get this stained glass image of Mortis, the planet Mortis, and I was just like, whoa! I had to flash back quickly and check that out. And there's so much goodness in there. From you got like the father who basically has like the Sith child and the Jedi daughter and. There's so much in there, man. I just can't wait to see it. And we got the owl, too, in there as well, which we see at the end of the battle of Twilight Apprentice, right? So I just can't wait. This season just cranked up like a million for me now.
What are your thoughts? Again, spoilers for Rebel Season 4, the last few episodes here, but what are your thoughts on Ian McDermott coming back and voicing the Emperor?
So is it official? It is him.
Yep.
See, because it's cool, because we predicted last season at the end of Rebels, I predicted it's going to be Sam Witwer. Because he voiced him before, but I did predict that the Emperor was coming back.
Yes, you did.
And I'm so glad that he's here.
Do you remember I think it was Celebration, I don't know if it was this year or last year, that there was rumors that Ian McDermott had gone in and done something.
Yes,
I'm wondering
the voice work.
Yeah, I'm wondering if this is in reference to that.
Has to be.
Because people are like, oh, maybe he's in, or it might have been for the video game as well.
Right.
From Battlefront 2. But he was confirmed that he came back and did this, which is awesome.
Yes. And then he's talking to Ezra Bridger,
Ezra Bridger finally.
That's crazy. And then the Loth, what was it? The wolves.
The Loth Wolves.
The Loth Wolves appear, and Ezra's fully charged, ready to go. He can't face the Emperor.
Kanan's looking a little different.
A little different, yeah. You mentioned it. He might be going back to Kalen Dune, right?
Caleb. Yeah,
Caleb Dune.
Yeah. So
cut off the hair.
Yeah,
it's because Hot Callus, right? Yeah. He's trying to keep up with that guy.
I love that Hera references it too. Yeah, I don't like your hair. It's the exact same thing. I was like, what? I'm like rewinding it. What does he look like?
Did he shave too?
It looked like it. Yeah.
The lightsaber, eh?
Yeah. Oh, that might have been the big thing. Yeah, he looked like Babyface.
I know.
I didn't actually pick that up, but you're right. He definitely shaved. Anyways, we're gonna jump into a lot more detail on there, and we're gonna get through the last couple episodes that we didn't review either. Kind of rolling into, I think, February 14th or something like that. It's kind of that second Valentine's Monday. I don't know if it's Valentine's Day or not. February 12th. I might be wrong here. February 19th, something like that. And the finale will air on March 5th.
Whew.
Yes. So quite an intense few weeks to come in Star Wars Rebels.
Yeah.
But before we get to there, we're going to run through the Oscars on the way to the series finale of Star Wars Rebels. So we just got word on the Oscar nominations, and we're going to have a little discussion around this. We usually like to do a run through the Oscars. It's kind of fun. We do a bit of a beer bet. We're talking about maybe doing, actually I'm just throwing this at the guys right now, about doing that as our first episode of the Nerd Room Detours, walking through that a bit more candidly, maybe with a beer or two.
Yeah.
But let's just talk at a high level here about what we saw. Now, a few snubs here, but a few interesting things. Last Jedi get 4 nominations.
Wow. In
the editing, mostly. And also John Williams getting a nod for the score.
Well-deserved.
Which is awesome.
The score is great.
Oh,
yeah.
God, it's so good in this.
Boom.
Yeah.
So good.
Love that score.
It's so good.
Jeez.
And how they weave that. I was watching some of the trailers, actually.
Yeah.
And...
Oh, so good. It's actually one of my highlights throughout the whole film. Like, John Williams came to play.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We need a soundboard.
So good, right?
Blade Runner 2049 racked up 5 nominations.
Yes.
Nice.
And one, though, isn't Best Picture.
No.
You a little disappointed by that?
No. It's unfortunate. I get it. There's some incredible films out this year. But cinematography was my big one.
Yeah.
And I'm glad it got nominated. It should win. But for Best Picture, it's okay. I can walk away from that one and, be all right.
Yeah, it also racked up production design, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
I think that's just be like set design and all that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so how it looks outside. Because you get the CGI, and I think production design, well, it's not so much the costumes and that, but I think it's just how the world's
Overall
set up.
sets, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so how it looks in that. Dunkirk now not ran away with things outside of, what was the big one that they had? The Shape of Water. But Dunkirk ended up with 8 nominations, including Best Picture and Best Director in Christopher Nolan.
Yeah. He deserves a win. I don't know if he'll get it this year, but
he's got one before, doesn't he?
No.
He doesn't have?
He doesn't have one?
No.
He
has a Best Picture, though.
Nope.
Really?
Nope.
No, he doesn't have
Dark Knight got shut out, and he got shut out for Best Director and Best Original Screenplay for Dark Knight.
Yeah.
So they had
that one was the snub for the Dark Knight.
Mm-hmm.
But the other ones, it's tough because you gotta look at what they're against that year, right?
Yeah.
This is always tough, right?
Yeah, and you got like films like Inception and Interstellar. I didn't
Memento.
really like. Memento.
The Prestige. I love that film.
That is such a great film.
It's so good.
It's like Wolverine versus Batman.
Right?
That's crazy.
Which is 2 Batmans, technically.
Yeah.
2 Batmans.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. Technically, it's 2 Batmans. Like.
Oh,
Prestige,
yeah,
Christian
okay,
Bale
yeah,
is a
yeah,
twin, right?
okay.
You know?
Yeah, and David Bowie's in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
right.
Black Widow.
And Alfred.
And Alfred.
Jeez.
Yes, all the common people that you see in Christopher Nolan films. Same few actors. You go back to the best, though. And the biggest one here, now there's all kinds of nominations here. We're not trying to not talk about Get Out or anything like that. The Shape of Water.
That I was so
Post,
pleased to see Get Out nominated.
Yeah.
Because it came out so early.
Came out so early, and horror films have traditionally been snubbed by the Academy. Mm-hmm. There's only been one horror film to ever win Best Picture, and to see Get Out get nominated is just a thrill for a horror fan like me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So put a pin in that conversation. I want to talk about that in just a second, about snubs and that. But one thing here, Logan. I think we got to revisit this, Troy.
You two both need to revisit it.
I tried. I did. Well,
did you watch black and white?
4 months ago. No, I didn't. I stayed away from the black and white one, though. Yeah.
Now, it got nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay. The first ever superhero film, comic book film.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say comic book film, superhero film, in history to receive a Best Adapted Screenplay nomination. Now, at this table, 2/3 of us did not like that film. Not that I didn't like Hugh Jackman. Maybe Patrick Stewart got snubbed here.
He was great.
Maybe he should have Best Supporting in that.
I agree.
But the adapted screenplay, that was the thing I had the biggest issues with, was the actual screenplay. And now it's here getting an Oscar nomination. Right. Sunjay, do we need to revisit this?
Absolutely. I think I had this number 2 of my yearly list, just behind Wonder Woman.
You're not alone. A lot of people love this film.
This is a tremendous film.
Yeah.
Collider Video just did a top 50 superhero films, and I think this came in at number 2.
That list was pretty bogus.
I agree. Maybe one day we'll tear it apart. But yeah, I mean, Logan, this is an amazing film. Just the heart in this film. It's like a Western. It plays out like a Western. And one thing is the Academy loves Westerns. And this feels kind of like that Western feel. The cowboy going out to his last gunfight or something.
Yeah.
You know? So I love this film. It's great. I mean, just embrace
Best
Logan.
adapted screenplay, though.
I think so, yeah. I mean, I haven't seen all the films out there, but from the ones I did see, I think this is terrific.
We talked about this a bit before the podcast, but what's it adapting? Like,
yeah, that's the thing. It's not Old Man Logan.
No.
In part is, but is it adapting a character? Like, it's interesting because does it fall into this category?
It's kind of like, okay, so if you have a movie like, say, Jurassic Park, it's based on a book, that would be adaptive.
Right.
But if, say, the sequel, which is also based on a book,
yes.
Okay, but if the third one was great, would that be adaptive or would that be original? Because it's based off 2 previous books, but not one specifically for that movie.
Does it move into adaptive when it's adapting like a character from a previous iteration of a film?
So, for instance, it was like Peter Pan, right?
Would that be adapting? Yeah, I think so because it's like based on.
But like, what
Peter
about
Pan.
What about like a sequel to a movie that was adapted from a book,
like The Godfather Part 2?
Is it? Yeah. So I don't know.
Because there's no book, right?
I think there's just the one.
So is that original or is that adapted?
Right. That has to be original because there's nothing to go off of except.
But you're adapting. I don't know.
Because you're not adapting a story, right? It's a brand new story. It's never been told before.
Yeah, like I guess you could be adapting Old Man Logan, but you're not really adapting it. There's no story here you're adapting to a screenplay. Right. Like usually would be a framework set up, right? Like you read Jurassic Park, Michael Crichton book, there's a framework there. It's not adapted like word for word or anything like that. But I think what they're nominating here is you're taking your source material and you're doing the best job translating that onto screen. I don't know what this is translating,
right?
Because the story in there is not like some elements of it, like him being old and kind of the world kind of going to shit and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's in the comic book, but the whole way it plays out isn't.
It's completely different.
Especially the stupid end part.
Oh yeah, and the middle part with his ex-clone or whatever the case is.
That's the dumb part I'm talking about.
Yeah. Oh okay.
Oh yeah, you're referring to the kids.
Yeah.
Going back to Troy's example,
X-23 maybe that run. Are they adapting that?
No, because it's still completely different too.
They jammed 3 or 4 comic book runs loosely together. I use the term loosely, extremely loosely.
Going back to Troy's example, when he brought up Peter Pan, a movie like Hook, it has Peter Pan in it, but it's nothing to do with the original story.
Exactly, because it's never been told before.
So what would that have been? Original or adaptive?
See, that's why I think that would be an original. Much like, wouldn't this be an original?
It should be, but maybe the originals were too strong that they're like, well, we got to give comic book fans one nomination because we've screwed them over for years. So
part of me feels like, and if you guys out there have more clarity on this, I'm sure the internet does, but part of me feels like adapted is you're taking from something that exists before, and that would technically include a previous iteration of someone in film.
Exactly.
So then would The Last Jedi be adaptive because it's adapting or going forward and furthering the narrative of Rogue One?
Now, see, again, I would say
The Force Awakens.
Again, I'd say that's an original screenplay because we've never had The Last Jedi in any other medium. Right?
But we've had those characters in the past that have been... But typically sequels don't get nominated, right?
Except The Godfather. I think The Godfather did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and Lord of the Rings, what was that? Oh, those are based on the books.
Yeah, exactly.
So the first thing that comes up in Google here is adapted screenplays are based on other works, while original screenplays are based on the writer's own ideas.
Exactly.
So the key thing here is adapted screenplays are based on other works. So coming from something from before.
So that could be anything then. So
so Hook would be an adapted screenplay because it's coming from an idea.
Right.
Yeah. Hook. And so because we have Logan, Wolverine, and the other X-Men, so then it still counts as adapted.
Adapted. Yeah. So
that makes sense.
Adapting an idea. It's not like a new original thought.
Right.
Like most Christopher Nolan films, like Interstellar, original screenplay.
Original, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Inception.
Like Tarantino, it's all original.
Yeah. So interesting. Like I don't know if I fully like. I love seeing stuff like that get nominated, but I'm not fully there in support of that nomination. Yeah. I am from a comic book movie superhero film perspective. Maybe not for that film, indeed.
Is there any... go back and revisit?
I probably will now.
Yeah. Is there any other or superhero films that came out this year that you think had better screenplays?
Good point. Good.
I could, of course, I could be biased. And I could say Spider-Man, but I still wouldn't say it's worthy of an Oscar. No. Much like I'd say this isn't worthy of an Oscar.
I'd say that, to me, the screenplay of Homecoming. Can I say that? Is it better than Logan? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think it should. No, I don't think it should get an Oscar.
Yeah.
It's pretty, blueprintish, bulk standard. It's good.
Yeah.
Does Wonder Woman deserve something like that? I don't think so either.
No. I think it deserves something. I think the fact that Wonder Woman didn't get a single nomination.
In fact, they got shut out.
Costume design was awesome. Like, you had the Amazons, you had the 1920s World War I uniforms.
I'm surprised they didn't get something for that, because I even like the idea that Wonder Woman, the progressive design of the Amazon outfits, right? The costumes. Yeah. It's not all skin, right?
Right.
It's something that looks like what a warrior would wear.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then even when you go back to Old England, like that time looks great.
Yeah. And World War One too.
World War I.
Yeah, there's a lot there. So I don't know if production design or costume design, something like that.
Exactly.
It's hard to break in, and that's something that I want to touch on here. It's hard to break in these type of films into your best picture, your best director, like adapted screenplay. We're getting some traction in original screenplay. Cinematography, even these are, to me, some of the bigger prizes at the end of the day. Is it time, and I'm almost certain we touched on this last year, is it time to split out the same way the Golden Globes do and start doing a different category for Best Picture? Because how do you this is, and it comes almost to the idea, like, then you're starting to self-reward and do all this stuff, which some of this already is, but how do you include some of these other films like Wonder Woman or Logan or something to that effect, that Blade Runner 2049, that maybe should be within these top 10? Like, that's why it was expanded out to 10, was the Dark Knight effect, right? It was to include films or more films like The Dark Knight that traditionally doesn't fit or conform to the idea of the Oscars. But you're seeing all these films, like, you look at the top films for the year and none of them get nominated for Oscars. Now, does that speak to the appeal of, or the mass appeal of films versus the quality of the film? I don't think so. Maybe it does a little bit, but is it time to start splitting out and doing, Best Picture drama and then Best Picture other or something like that? I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think so. I think it takes away from some of these things. Honestly, I'm probably the odd one here. I think you even get rid of, this is kind of tough, Best Animated in some ways, because sometimes, like, you look at Toy Story, like, Toy Story is probably one of the best movies of the year. Like, that should have been able to win Best Picture, as opposed to just, well, here's your animated, right?
Well, that would be the distinguishing factors, right? You'd have your own best comic book film, right?
Yeah.
And you'd have 3 nominations, right? And
but then it still can't get that Best Picture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Dark Knight could have got Best Picture.
Should have.
Or it could have gotten an award of Best Superhero Film, obviously you want the Best Picture.
And that feels like an MTV award.
Exactly.
Right? Best superhero, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I feel like the Oscars of late are becoming more pretentious. Like, back in the day, Titanic, not a great film, but it was like a huge box office success, won Best Picture. Because that film, I think, encapsulated the year. It, like, took audiences by storm. It was just a phenomenon, right? Avatar got nominated for Best Picture. Is Avatar that great of a film?
No.
I mean, who talks about Avatar still? But it got nominated for Best Picture because it was such a big hit. Now,
it's James Cameron.
Look at all the nominations that got nominated for Best Picture this year. I bet you if you added them all up, they made not even $200 million at the box office.
But that's fine, because it shouldn't be based on the box office. It should be based on the quality.
But I think it should play a factor in it a little bit, because it speaks to the popularity of the film, right? Like, the Best Picture of the year should encapsulate that year in film. And you get stuff like Wonder Woman, where everything that's going on right now in Hollywood, and you had this awesome movie with Wonder Woman, and for it not to even to get a single nomination is crazy to me. Like,
but then also comes down to MTV. Like, that's like an MTV award in a way, because you have to think some of these films too are independent. They're low budget. They don't have the marketing behind them to pump out a thing like a Justice League or a Wonder Woman at the same time, right? So it kind of turns into a popularity contest in some ways if it's based not just off box office, but if you were to throw in that as a factor.
I mean, I just think that they should take that into account. I mean, I think a lot, they did in the past, it seemed. So why did they stop? I think maybe they're thinking comic book films and superhero films are beneath them, maybe. Because it's like, oh, it came from a comic book. It's not that good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they still don't respect the genre. Like, if you make a Western film, even if it's just an average film, you're going to get, like, Oscar buzz. Because it's a Western film. Oscar, like, nominators or whoever, like, puts in the ballots love Westerns. Like, that's their
Cowboys
jam.
and Aliens?
Oh, my
Where was the
God.
love?
Such a good movie.
Oh my God.
Totally joking.
But that was based on a comic book. If it was just an original idea, it would.
Well, even did Hateful Eight, Quentin Tarantino, did that get
I
not
think
Best
it's-
Picture?
No.
And that's Tarantino.
I think he got some noms, no?
Maybe that guy's original screenplay, but definitely not Best Picture.
Yeah.
I think True Grit maybe got Best Picture
Yeah.
nom.
And it got Best Actress,
great
best,
film, though.
Best Supporting Actress, whatever.
Yeah.
Or Best Actor, Best Actress.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's hard. It's at the same time, like, maybe the Oscars is in place to recognize the films that don't get the wide releases,
Exactly.
the kind of the international and domestic fame. Like, does Star Wars or Spider-Man: Homecoming or Thor Ragnarok, do they need a, like, I don't think they're at that level, but do they need a Best Picture nomination for that prowess? No, like they made $300, $400, $500, $1 billion, right? They've got that wide praise. They've got that kind of recognition already.
Yeah.
Is the Oscars maybe more suited for recognizing films that don't get that same distribution, and being able to make a good movie and have it honored still on the same playing field as everything that makes $1 billion to a couple $1,000,000 in theaters.
Right.
So yeah, it's one of those things, like, as fans of this genre, yeah, of course we'd like to see a bit more representation there, but is it overall deserving? I don't think so in every case.
And
Like,
we'll get there in time. I mean, these are like Logan.
Logan's the first step,
it's the
right?
first
Yeah.
step in the right direction.
I feel like it should have been nominated for Best Picture.
Really?
I think so, yeah.
But have you seen all the other Best Pictures too? Right?
I have absolutely seen all the other Best Pictures.
So you have seen Call Me by Your Name, Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, Get
I have
Out,
seen Dunkirk and
Lady
Get Out.
Bird, Phantom Thread, The Post, The Shape of Water,
No.
3 billboards outside of Ebbing, Missouri.
Yeah.
No.
See, so I've seen 3 billboards. I haven't seen Shape of Water yet, so I've seen 3 billboards.
Is that worth watching?
Yeah, totally. It's really cool. The guy Justin Hammer.
Sam Rockwell.
He's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah,
he's great.
he's
And
a
Woody
terrific
Allen.
actor.
They're all good, and the lead.
Yeah, Arnie Hammer's
She's
in that too, right?
No, that's Call Me by Your Name.
Call Me by Your Name, yeah.
Yeah,
He got snibbed.
Yeah. I know, what do you call it? Sorry, I lost my train of thought with the other film there. Lady Bird. I feel like it's pretty overrated. I didn't really care for that movie that much. Dunkirk's great, obviously, as
The
well.
Post. That's Steven Spielberg, Tom Hanks, and Meryl Streep.
Yeah.
3 multi-time.
Right? What are you going to
Winning.
do against
Do you
that?
think they just like see these people and they're like, oh, they've been nominated like 5 times? Like Leonardo DiCaprio, he finally won the Oscar for The Revenant, but a lot of people are saying like he was been in better films before that.
I think so. Yeah.
But they give it to him for The Revenant because he's been nominated like a bunch of
He
times.
may or may not be in another film he gets nominated for.
Exactly, right? Like I think there is a bit of politics in this as well. Like
100%.
yeah.
100%. Especially when you look at sometimes the way they place the leads. Like the one year with Andrew Garfield, Social Network. It was weird because Christian Bale did The Fighter, and Christian Bale, I believe he was nominated for supporting, but he should have been the lead, basically, because he
That's because
led that
Mark
film.
Wahlberg was in that. Was he?
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg
He
was too.
technically the lead.
And then Andrew Garfield would have wiped the floor because he should got best supporting. So what I think they did is they actually made Christian Bale supporting and put him in that category. So obviously he's gonna win. But it's kind of weird because he should have been the lead.
There must be screen time for supporting and lead.
It must be.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, because
I guess that just proves
weird.
Batman beats Spider-Man.
Oh man, you're killing me here.
All right. Well, we're going to be taking a deep dive into this a little later on in maybe the Nerd Room Detours premiere episode, but we will be following the Oscars here. It's something, like I said, we like to do every year. It's kind of fun to run through.
It's our Super
see
Bowl.
what wins. I'm always got my fingers crossed for Star Wars: The Last Jedi, or Star Wars in general winning these things. Hopefully, the one I really want to see win is John Williams for that score. That's my big one. If it doesn't win, like visual effects, it's up against Blade Runner, Guardians 2, War for the Planet of the Apes, which should probably win.
I think so.
So Kong Skull Island. So like there's a lot of good kind of in the effects there. So there's a lot to follow up here, and it's always kind of fun going through. And I'm probably not going to make my way through many more than just Dunkirk and potentially The Shape of Water.
Got to see that one. Yeah, I want to see that one so bad.
Any Suicide Squad nominations again?
Nothing.
Best hair and makeup again?
Logan.
Suicide Squad 2?
Logan is your Suicide Squad of this year.
That's the best part of the whole thing, is that Suicide Squad won an Oscar.
It's awful.
The Oscar-winning film, Suicide Squad.
Oh.
You have to say that now.
I strongly dislike that.
I just never bring it up.
So the DC universe has one Oscar win, but the Marvel universe so far has 0. So
are you sure about that?
I guess we know which one
must have
more successful.
Effects or something.
I don't think so.
Didn't Winter Soldier get...
Winter Soldier, best adapted screenplay.
Yeah.
That should have gotten 100%.
That is something, in my opinion, that could have possibly been like best picture.
Yeah.
I'm with you to the end, Bucky. And then he snaps out of his kill rage. What's up with that? Okay, you guys get on Martha. That's just as bad in my opinion.
He punched him 1,000 times.
I'm with you to the end.
All he did was yank him out of the water.
He saved his life. Should just let him die.
No. Then we wouldn't have got Civil War or Infinity War. Anything good. Long-haired, bearded Captain America. Anyways,
that's gonna be pretty
we're
cool.
running along here, guys. We're going to get out of this episode while we're ahead. If you guys would like to be a part of the show, make sure you email us at thenerdrm@gmail.com. You can always hit us up on Facebook or our YouTube pages. And as always, we like hanging out on Twitter. Our handles are at the end of the episode. And you can always get at us like Grabs Granite did through our website. Just click on Contact Us, and there'll be a little form you fill out there, and that'll come straight to our emails. We're always looking for contributions from you guys, the listeners. It's always a ton of fun kind of walking through some of those questions. Going to the next couple of weeks, we've got, I'm going to say right now, a Han Solo trailer for next week.
I hope so.
It's
Bold.
It's happening.
If not, then we'll cut a trailer.
Yeah, we will cut
We'll
a trailer.
act it out.
Sanjay is now Han Solo.
Can we all do our best Chewie voice? Okay. Oh god damn! I don't know how to do this.
You gotta get prepped, man.
Yourself into.
Chewie.
It's not Groot.
Chewie.
What are you doing? You ever seen Star Wars?
That's Star Wars, right?
Yeah, that's what he says all the time.
Back to school. I can't wait till you're running around in Chewbacca costume for Solo yelling Chewie.
Yeah, it's happening.
It's 100%. I hope you're getting it.
What if they delayed it like a week? Does he get out of it?
I get out of it.
He said to Christmas.
Okay.
No, I
All right,
didn't.
just making sure.
I said that they're not going to come
Just
out on
making
the
sure.
day
Okay.
that it said.
This is a shout out to Corey at Tumbling Saber. He's got his finger on the pulse in this one.
Fact check that,
Yes.
please.
I said they're not going to come out on the day that it came out. So if it's delayed even by 24 hours, I'm off the hook.
Yeah, Ron Howard's running with it to the theater. I've got it. Don't worry.
He trips and falls
Say
and
it's
breaks
a Saturday release. Anyways, coming up here, we've got some Black Panther prelude episodes, Black Panther review. We're going to be into the Oscar nominations, our Super Bowl trailer episode that we like to do each and every year. We get the debut of probably a new Infinity War trailer. I'm hoping at least by then a Solo trailer and a few others for potentially Deadpool 2, I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got some big
Dark
things coming
Phoenix?
down. Dark Phoenix, maybe. Yeah,
Right.
you're right. So there's a few trailers, few films out there that are asking. Maybe Venom, don't know. Maybe just something. Symbiote, who knows? Something. We'll be running through all of those in quite a bit of detail running into the end of February. So lots to talk about in the next coming weeks. Looking forward to getting back at the table with you guys. But until then, for the Nerd Room, I'm Tim.
I'm Troy.
And I'm Joey.
And thank you for entering the Nerd Room.
Joey.
This has been a Nerd Room podcast production. You can find our hosts Tim, Troy, and Sunjay on Twitter at TheNerdRM, TroyTheBoy87, and Sunjabby. For more content from the Nerd Room, check out thenerdroom.net. And don't forget to subscribe to the Nerd Room on iTunes, Podbean, and YouTube. Be sure to head over to StarWarsCommonwealth.com to find more podcasts in the Star Wars Commonwealth Podcast Network, including Talk Star Wars, Tumbling Saber, Generation X-Wing, Rogue Squadron Podcast, Skyrips Podcast, and San Diego Sabres. Follow the Star Wars Commonwealth on Twitter at SW Commonwealth and take your first steps into a larger world.